Hello students, welcome back to the video series of programming in C++ subject. My today's session is on unit 3 constructor and destructors, and the topic is types of constructors. So the objective of today's session is to know about the different type of constructors. Let's see what is constructor. It is a special member function of a class and it is used to initialize the object of a class. It is known as a special member function because its name is same as the class name. Yes, we discussed all of the concept of constructor in our previous video. So in that we also discuss about one example of the constructor in which we have taken class integer. It is having two data members and one constructor function. Here we have specified a constructor function without argument. So this is the example of default constructor. Now let's see the types of constructors available in C++. There are basically three types: default constructor, parameterized constructor, and copy constructor. Let's see all of them one by one. The first one is a default constructor. Yes friends, as we know that a user defined function can have default parameters, right? Same way, if we talk about the default constructors, the default constructors are used to assign some initial values to its objects, and it is known as default constructor because it does not take any argument. That means it has no parameters. Even if we do not define any constructor explicitly, the compiler will automatically provide a default constructor implicitly. So let's see the example. Here class integer is taken and once again we have initialized value 10 to data member A and 20 to data member B in our default constructor's body. Here is the example of default constructor. In main section, we simply created one object of class integer, that is I1, and as we create object of the class, the constructor, that is default constructor, is automatically called, as we know from the concept of our constructor. So we just simply call the put data member function with the use of I1 object, and let's see the effect of default constructor on I1 object. See, here default constructor is called when we created I1 object, and after that we display the value of data members of I1 object, that is A is equal to 10 and B is equal to 20. These two values are assigned to A and B by creating simply an object I1 from the main section. Now let's see constructor with default argument. Yes friends, it is a special case in which a constructor is having arguments, but it is called default constructor because it is having all of its arguments with default values. So it is a default constructor that will either have no parameter or all the parameters have default values. We can also define the constructors with default arguments. So here is the example in which we created point constructor for class point. In that two arguments are there, x and y, and both of them has assigned initial values, that is default values 0 0. That means the default value of argument x and y is 0, and if we call the constructor while creating the object p1 of class point with value 10, that is only one argument value, then value 10 will be assigned to variable x and y will be remain 0 as it is having default value. And now let's see another way, that if I am giving two values with the object P1's creation, that is 10 and 20, then 10 will be assigned to X and 20 will be assigned to Y. So this is the another way that we can create default constructor in our program. Simply, the first way is to make a constructor without parameters, and second way is assign default values to all of its parameters and make it a default constructor. Now let's see the second type of constructor, that is parameterized constructor. So yes friends, it is possible to pass arguments to the constructors. Typically, these arguments help to initialize an object when it is created. That means whenever we create object of that class, we have to pass the value for the arguments of that parameterized constructor. To create parameterized constructor, we simply needed to add parameters to it the way we add to other normal functions. Whenever you define the constructor's body, use these parameters to initialize the object. Simply, we need to use the value of parameters to initialize the data members of that particular object. So, let's see the syntax. How to assign these parameters to the objects, or how to call this parameterized constructor. So, when an object is declared in a parameterized constructor, the initial values have to be passed as an argument to the constructor function. So, the normal way of object declaration may not work here. We need to take care about the passing argument for the parameterized constructor. So, the constructors can be called explicitly or implicitly. We know that if we want to make an explicit call, then we have to write object name is equal to class name, or we can say it is a constructor name, and in that we have to write the values for the passing to its parameters. And if we want to make implicit call, then we have to write class name, then object name, and then simply passing the values to the parameterized constructors. So this is two different ways how we can call parameterized constructor. Now let's see the example. In that, I have taken again class integer. It has one default constructor, and now we will add one parameterized constructor. So in that, I have to pass two different parameters, that is integer x and integer y, to the parameterized constructor. So both of these parameters are used to assign value to its data members A and B. X value will be assigned to data member A and Y's value will be assigned to data member B. So friends, here is the program in which we have defined default constructor as well as parameterized constructor. Default constructor will assign values 10 to data member A and 20 to data member B, and parameterized constructor will assign value x to A and y to B. Here x and y will be the values of the parameters that will be passed from the object creation in main section. So let's see, in main section we have created two objects. First one is I1, that is not having any parameter value, so it will call default constructor, and another object I2 with two different parameter values 5 and 7. So 5 will be assigned to x and 7 will be assigned to y. So now from the put data function, we will display the value of data members A and B for both of the objects, that is I1 and I2. Let's see, default constructor is called by object I1 and it displays 10 for data member A and 20 for data member B. And parameterized constructor is called by the creation of object I2 and it assigns value 5 to data member A and value 7 to data member B. So this is the way how default constructor and parameterized constructors works in our programs. Now let's see use of the parameterized constructors. So the first one is it is used to initialize the various data elements of different objects with different values whenever they are created, and they are also used to overload the constructors. Yes friends, we can do constructor overloading in our C++ programs. That particular concept will be covered in our next videos. Now let's see the third type of constructor, that is copy constructor. A copy constructor is, by its name can be thought that it is creating a copy of already existing object. That means a copy constructor is a member function which initializes an object using another object's values of the same class. The copy constructor is used to initialize one object from another object of the same class type. They are used to copy an object to pass it as an argument to the function, as well as they are used to copy an object to return it from a function. That means we can have copy constructor to pass as an argument to a function, as well as we can have a copy constructor to return from a function. So this is a simple scenario where we can define a copy constructor. A class name, that is a name of constructor, then into bracket, into specifying parameter for a copy constructor, we have to write a class name that will be the data type of the object which is already existing, and its address will be passed to the constructor of a copy constructor. So we can see that copy constructor is using existing object values to create a new object and assign the values of the data members of old object to the new object's data members. So the next thing is how to call the copy constructor. So here is the syntax. Write down the name of class, then name of object. That means here we will create a new object and then we will specify old object name. That means we are specifying the old object name into the parameter. The another way is to call copy constructor is write down the class name, then object name, then assignment operator, and then old object name. Here is the example: class integer I2 object into bracket I1. That means we are assigning values of I1 to I2. Or the another way is write down the name of class, that is integer, new object name, that is I2, is equal to old object name, that is I1. So in this case, data members of I1 will be copied to the data members of I2 object. So this is the way how we can call copy constructor. So here is the example of copy constructor. In that we have class integer. It is having one default constructor which will assign value 10 to data member A and 20 to data member B. Another constructor is parameterized constructor which will assign value X to data member A and value Y to data member B. And here is our copy constructor. In that here is our copy constructor. In that we are passing one object as a argument. So the data member A of object I will assign its value to the data member A of the object which is being created by the copy constructor. And same way, data member B of object I will be assigned to the data member B of new object. Now in main section we have created three objects. First is I1, which is calling default constructor. Second is I2, and it is having two parameters 5 and 7 that will be assigned to parameter x and y. So I2 is calling parameterized constructor, and here we have written I3 into bracket I2. That means we are passing object I2 to copy constructor. Now let's see the output. See, the first object I1 is calling default constructor. So we get value of A is equal to 10 and value of B is equal to 20 because copy constructor's body assigns these values to the data members A and B. Then we created object I2 and we have passed value 5 and 7. So the data member A is equal to 5 and B is equal to 7 because the value of the parameter is assigned to the data members. And at the last we get the output of copy constructor. So copy constructor copies the object I2 into I3. So same values of data members of object I2 will be copied and here they are displayed as value of A is equal to 5 and value of B is equal to 7. So this is the way how we can use default constructor, parameterized constructor as well as copy constructor in our programs. Friends, I hope you like this session and you enjoy learning programming in C++. Thank you.